Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good Cinco de Mayo. Today I want to talk about hurt feelings and accountability. It's just been on my mind. This is a topic that comes up for me fairly often, and something that I kind of go back and forth on. It's a topic that, like many things, we want it to be black and white. Like, I have the sense that I want it to be clearly defined, and I think you'll understand what I'm talking about when I get to it. But it also just kind of touches on the idea that life is more complex than things being black and white. And it doesn't always feel satisfying that way. It's an unsatisfying experience. But my experience is that that's just kind of what life is like, and it's something we have to regulate. So anyway, what I'm talking about is, I think there are kind of two camps that I see on social media about like whether or not somebody's feelings got hurt and whose fault that is. Like, I said something that hurt somebody's feelings. And these things can kind of be separated, right? Like, I said something, regardless of the intent that was behind that thing, doesn't really make it inherently right or wrong, right? Everything is subjective, and that's kind of one part of the black and white thing. And then it hurts somebody's feelings. And this is kind of where accountability comes in, because for me, when my feelings get hurt, I immediately, like, I guess this is also a control thing. I go to, my feelings are hurt because of how I perceived the words, or because of my perception of the situation, and myself. And it's not the other person's fault for hurting my feelings. Nobody else can hurt my own feelings. Only I can have my feelings hurt, if that makes sense. And so I guess, I see like pieces of content where I think at a certain point in my life, if I hurt somebody's feelings because something I said, it's default for me to get defensive and be like, no, I didn't mean it like that. Your feelings shouldn't be hurt, right? I can't hurt your feelings. Only you can have your own feelings hurt. Because that's kind of how I perceive, how I kind of take back that control when I'm on the receiving end of harmful words. But it's both. Right? Like, just because the intention behind saying something that was harmful or that had the effect of harm was good doesn't mean that it didn't have an effect. So there's still accountability on the I don't know, aggressor, whatever, however you want to, whatever a better word for is for that. And then on the receiving side, there's accountability on both sides. It's like, okay, like, it is my responsibility to understand when my feelings are being hurt. And, but I'm also, like, it doesn't, just because that is true, doesn't make it okay for the other person to have said that thing, regardless of intent. So there's accountability on both sides. I'm not sure if that made sense. It's still a little bit gray in my mind, but this is why we talk through things, because it's so easy to like think about these things and feel like you got it figured out in your head, because we like to give ourselves the freedom to make little mental leaps. So I'm just going to leave this as is and not try to perfect it, and let that be the work for today. And If you have any opinions or thoughts, agreements, disagreements on what I've said, I'd love to have a conversation about it. So leave them in the comments. I think also YouTube wants me to say like and subscribe.